sweeps and how to add them to custom wall types. So let's hop into Revit. So I'm in Revit right now. I'm going to act like I'm going to draw a wall. So I'm going to do the WA command, and I'm going to edit the type in hopes of creating my own type. So to do that, I'm going to start with a 6-inch wall in this case, and then I'm going to duplicate it, give it a name. I'm going to call this a 6-inch concrete wall with a sill. So then I'm going to click OK. I'm going to edit the assembly of that wall. I'm going to change the material of it to concrete to match the actual type name that I selected. Cast in place is fine. Thickness is 6 inches, which is what I'm going for, so that's fine. And now we're going to add a sweep to this wall. To do that, we're going to use the sweeps button in the modify vertical section area of this window. If these buttons are grayed out for you, ensure that your preview is enabled and the view is set to section, not plan. Once those two things are correct, the sweeps button should become available and you can click on it. This brings up the wall sweeps dialog box. To add a sweep, you're going to click the add button, and then there's a series of options, and we're going to go over them all right now. The first is a profile. A profile is simply a closed shape that is going to be swept along the perimeter of your wall. If you have a custom one, you can load it using the load profile button right here. If you don't, several Revit templates have built-in profiles. So in this case, I'm going to select one of those, and I'm going to pick the sill precast 5-inch wide, and that is going to be the profile which is swept along my wall. If I want to see a preview of it, I can simply click the apply button, and you can see it pop up right down there in my edit assembly section. The next is the material of this sweep. I'm going to leave it as default, so it's going to be a little bit different material than my wall. My wall's concrete, and this is just going to show up as gray, but that's okay. The next column is distance, and this works in combination with the next column after that, from. From has two options, base and top, and distance is the delta of the profile's center line, or its x-axis, relative to either the top or bottom of your wall. So in this case, if I set it to top and then click apply, you'll notice the profile jumps right on top, and the bottom edge of the profile is now aligned to the top. If I added a distance of 1 inch, you'll now notice it floats above the wall. Revit doesn't like that, so it's giving me an error. So I'm going to click cancel so it reverts back to 0. If I enter -1 inch, you'll now see that the sweep is inside my wall. That's okay if that's the look I'm going for. For now, I want this profile to be aligned 0 inches relative to the bottom because it is the sill of the wall. So I'm going to click apply, and you'll now notice it's the right location height-wise. Next are the side and offset columns. These kind of work in combination, just like the distant and from columns. The side is the location line of the profile relative to that of the wall. In this case, the profile is inserted at the exterior of the wall face. I could change it to the interior if I wanted to. Then you have the option to set an offset for this profile. In this case, I'm going to go with 2 inches. Now that you can see that the profile is now at the base of my wall and is 2 inches out of the exterior side of my wall. If I wanted to increase that to 4 inches, I could just enter 4, and of course, just like with the distance column, I can enter a negative number 2. Now you can see the sill sits right outside my wall, which is what I'm looking for. If I wanted to flip this profile horizontally, I could click this flip checkbox. Setback is the distance that the sweep will stop if you insert a door in your wall. So for the sake of this example, I'm going to enter 3 feet, something really noticeable, and then I'm going to click apply. The last two options are cuts walls and cuttable. Cuts wall removes any material that is overlapped between your new wall sweep and the structure of the wall. If you're having performance issues, you can uncheck this. In a majority of cases, you can leave this check. Cuttable is what allows your sweep to be cut by elements when they're inserted, such as a door, window, or some other component. In my case, I want to show you setbacks, so I'm going to leave it unchecked. It's important to note that I could add as many sweeps to a wall as I wanted and adjust the distance, profiles, offsets as necessary for that sweep. In my case, I just want to add a sill. I also have the option to duplicate a sweep as well as delete it. I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to accept my edit assembly, click OK on that, and then I'm going to click OK to accept my edited type. I'm going to click to insert my wall. I'm going to hop into 3D so I can get a nicer view. And now you can see my 6-inch concrete wall with my sill. To show you what the setbacks command does when I insert a door into this wall, you'll notice that our sweep stops 3 feet on both ends of our door. And that's how you create a custom wall sweep within Revit.